if you didn't know, Florida's governor, the dumbass, is in a war with Disney. And the only reason he's in a war with Disney, because Disney has openly stated they will stop political contributions, primarily due to the Don't Say Gay bill, in which the dumbass has been sponsoring, got passed, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, because he's trying to be Orange Fuck Muppet 2.0, he's had this real big assault on Disney. He's told lawmakers to take away their special status and all of these things. Well, it happened. Today, the Florida lawmakers officially signed it and took away the special status of Disney. And here's a problem, though. Disney, with the special status, they paid for their own services. So, like anything that had to happen. So now removing this means Florida residents are going to see a higher tax bill, as well as the district who is over $1 million in debt, $1 billion, in debt already, is going to be on the hook for all the money that Disney's losing out on. I mean, that the state is losing out on because of this with Disney. What, Dwayne, go to you first. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it feels like it's one of those situations where Republicans, I'm just gonna say it that way, Republicans don't actually understand the law.
Nope.
Like they get into these positions, people that are not qualified are elected, and then they get into these positions, they make these changes without completely understanding what they really do, because they sound good and they make people vote for them. And then, boom, you just screwed over all your constituents. But they're not going to pay attention to that. They're going to pay attention to the fact that Disney's special status got taken away. We didn't back down to the corporate Disney when they wanted us to back down. That's all they're going to pay attention to.
But it's also for me, the biggest thing is not even just saying the backing down to corporate Disney. It's just to say, for DeSantis to just keep being like, oh, these corporations are trying to be woke, all this woke shit. And it's like, bro, just because they're standing up for LGBTQ rights and you're an asshole, like your gripe is against a company that is doing the right thing, even though after public pressure. You know what I mean? Because it's not initially that did, because we saw that whoever the fuck Bob Chopek was all like behind it, and then he made a statement. And everybody was like, nigga, you might want to change that statement.
I mean, the thing is that they were never really behind it. They were just like, look, like we just ain't gonna say nothing about it.
Yeah,
and then people were like, nah, fam, that's not good enough. We gonna need you to say something about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like it just, hey, once again, stupid screws over stupid.
Mm-hmm. No,
got your thoughts?
I'm actually going to Disney this summer, and I'm proposing there. And
well, secret's out.
Question.
She knows.
So what? That don't make any sense. I say this as somebody who said this to Winston as well, because supposedly he told me, and I think he said it on the show, that Kristen doesn't want to be surprised or like caught off guard without her nails done or something like that.
That's Jenny too. That is Jenny too. So basically, at some point last year, she kind of asked me, she's like, how come you haven't asked yet? And I'm like, well, I was gonna ask you when we went on vacation last summer before it got pushed back due to COVID. So I was planning on doing it whenever we actually had the vacation. So she spoiled it for herself. But she's like, okay,
but cool. You answered. Did she spoil it for herself?
Yeah, because I wasn't trying to get pressured to do it in a way I didn't want to do it.
You could have just said it's coming when it's coming. I guess for me personally,
well, here
you knew you were going. You know you're gonna do it, right? You know you're gonna propose. That's a given. It's not I'm thinking about doing it. I might do it. I might not do it. You know what's gonna happen. You know the moment is gonna happen. I just don't get the whole like, well, this is when I'm doing it, because it kind of takes that emotion and that moment away, don't it?
No, so she knows it's happening at some point on the trip, but she doesn't know when on the trip, and she doesn't know where on the trip. So those are still a surprise. That it's still a surprise moment in that regard. But as college students, For me, knowing I have I've been told I'm getting the yes whenever I do ask, that takes some pressure off of it. But it also allows us, with the limited time we have, to start prepping for this stuff ahead of time instead of just being in a crunch and all that. Like, we've already started working on guest lists and things like that.
Okay, I appreciate that. I just realized something. We're finna get into this whole debate about Matt's proposal in America. The conversation is about Disney and Florida.
I know, but you interrupted me. I was about to get into it, but you asked me a question and I answered.
You're right. I only got one thing to say about that whole thing. If there's all these ultimatums, caveats, whatever, rules and conditions, then fucking propose to me. God damn it. Don't make me do it. You propose to me then when you're ready.
Yes, sir. This nigga spitting. Damn, nigga.
All women just want their nails done before, so they want their nails to look good before.
That's what I don't know a nigga that's gonna be like. Listen, ladies, here go the
bruh. Nope, we don't care. We don't care.
Here's the thing. There's not gonna be. Here's the hood nigga side of me. Ain't no nigga gonna look at this girl and be like, hey, bitch, I know you just got out of the shower and you ain't got your nails done and you ain't putting nothing but a bonnet on. Come here for a second. I got a question to ask you. Ain't no nigga finna do that. Ain't no nigga finna look at this girl while she cooking grits. Talking about some, damn, your hands look good stirring them grits. It should have a ring on it. Ain't no nigga doing that, right?
Look, I understand the reasoning for like wanting your nails done and all that. But like, don't be like, I want it to be a surprise, but like not a surprise at the same time. It's like you can't have both. And if you don't want it to be a surprise,
see, Chris is in the chat with Winston. She gets it.
Here's the thing though. I'm not the type of person that's gonna be like, hey yo, like I'm gonna propose in a public place. I think that's weird. I think it's kind of not right. You should propose in private because that's for y'all. So, like, if her nails ain't done, don't take no pictures. Go get your nails done the next day and then take pictures after that.
Where's it at? Nigga, hold on.
I'm just saying, like,
niggas like this taking pictures.
For real though,
Yo.
like, cause now instead of it just being like a moment of like purity and everything, and by purity I don't mean like religiously or anything like that, but like a true organic pure moment. Now there's some of that has been taken away to make sure
that's all they say. Jay
nails look nice.
Hey bitch, ain't no nigga. First of all, I don't know if them niggas gonna be like, hey bitch. I don't know no nigga. Hey, any nigga that can. First of all, if y'all know of legend, because that nigga has to be a legend that was able to look at his girl and go, "Hey, bitch, you want to get married?" Ain't no nigga.
Nah, he just look over. He just look over. We getting married, bitch.
Hello.
Jay, what did you start, man? I was just trying to answer the question, and you just
go ahead and answer the question. Go to the question. Go to the question.
I can't. No, nah. My best friend lives in Florida. He was messaging me about this. He's pissed as fuck because he's like, "You telling me my taxes are going up? I already pay enough, and I'm not even here half the time." He travels for work, so he ends up having to pay taxes to all the different cities he travels.
He said he works in. Yep.
So he's like, I get taxed a lot as it is anyway. So now the state I live in, I'm gonna get my taxes raised just because I want the nice weather. He's like, I'm not leaving. I built my house here. He just got engaged himself, and he's just like, I'm building my family here, but like I don't want my taxes to get raised. He said he's like, no, I'm not gonna lie. I voted for DeSantis, and now I'm regretting everything because he's very pro LGBT. And everything, but he's more an independent than a Republican, and he's like, he has some regrets. Love you, Mango.
All right, real quick. So Tori said you can just take a photo of the ring in the box if you really want to show people right there and there. The Samurai Raven also said, see, shit like this is why I'm glad I'm asexual.
Yo, asexual has nothing to do. That has nothing to do.
Flats only, please. Again, Dwayne, no.
I would never ask anyone to marry me like that. I'm just saying, like, come on, like,
You know what?
Come on.
I think, but let's get back to the main topic.
Yeah.
There are so many people who call themselves conservative, Republican, however you want to call it, right? And they're so busy backing all the shit the dumbass says, and they're so busy hyping it up like he's, oh man, this go won't go broke. But in all actuality, the residents of Florida are fucked because of this.
Yep.
And it's gonna be even worse if let's just hypothetically say, because more than likely it won't happen. Let's hypothetically say Disney says, fuck you, Orlando, and we moving the whole thing out.
They could.
I mean, I don't think that's realistic.
But I'm just using that I'm using that as a far extreme. You know what I'm saying? I understand it's not possible to happen, but I'm just saying let's say you go that far, right? Disney is because of Disney and Universal Studios within themselves, they are very big revenue generators for the state of Florida in that area.
Revenue almost.
It's almost all their revenue is because of that. And now because they want to be pro human rights, no other way to say it. Let's not even just go pro LGBTQ rights, pro human rights. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, oh, take all this shit away. But again, people always vote against their better interests. Mm-hmm. People in Kentucky and Tennessee and now shit in Florida, they vote for people like this because they're voting off of quote unquote emotion and not common sense and logic.
Part of what it is it's people like, and I hate to call your boy out, but it's people like that are truly the cause of this type of problem. Because there's the hateful people. There's always going to be the hateful people that vote for that party because of the hateful ideals. Yeah, right? But then there's the people that are not. They're not hateful people, but they are willing to suspend their morality on that in order to get a tax break.
Yeah, this is true.
In order to pay less business tax or less, this, that, or a lower gas price. They're willing to say, I'm okay with all of this hatred for someone just being a human being as long as gas is cheaper, as long as I have to pay less in property tax.
Not to mention, also on top of that, the dumbass is doing this while gerrymandering districts to take away black votes. And so him doing two things at one time, he's using the Disney because it's the more popular thing that will be in the news cycle to cover up the thing. Black people's, let me just say this. If you didn't know, look, we understand that many rights across the board in this country are being affected. Black people's voting rights are being taken away left and fucking right in 2022. And nobody seems to want to talk about this. Everything else, it's smoke and mirrors, y'all. Like, yeah, the Disney shit is messed up because of how it will affect Floridians. But he's using that to cover the fact they're trying to gerrymander black districts so that more Republicans can be considered in these certain areas and black votes don't happen. And you got Atlanta doing this shit, Georgia doing this thing, Mississippi, Texas, and other places as well. And again, it goes part to the people, to what Dwayne said. It goes on a part to people who go, well, I'm fiscally conservative and socially liberal. Nah, bruh, you can't have that. That's just got to change. But
you can have that mentality, right? That's perfectly fine. But you got to understand when you're.
What did Jay call Florida people? Floridians.
Floridians. That's what they're called.
Yeah. That's what they're called.
But no, Haskell hit it right here real quick. The other day, Dems walked out of session in Florida because DeSantis removed 2 black delegate seats. I don't know if you saw that, but that did happen. I was just about to bring that up. Like, with the gerrymandering, it was 2 delegates who were in a primarily black area. They got redelegated to now 71% of the vote there is now white.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being what it was before. And it's ridiculous.
But again, the problem is if the residents don't vote this dude out, let's just be honest. We've said it before on here and every other place. we are still feeling the effects of the white lash from a black president being president for 2 years, a black man being president for 2 terms, excuse me. We're feeling that. And then you have the last bastion of white supremacy trying to hold on to itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last bastion of that. So before I wrap this up, you got any thoughts, Dwayne, Matt?
It's just that with that socially liberal, financially conservative thing, it's like that doesn't mix in politics. It doesn't. When you're choosing your representation at a government level, it doesn't mix. The only parties that fit that bill are not in contention truly. So you've got to ask yourself, is your money worth your morals when you're voting? And that's how I vote. I vote do I care more about being taxed less or whatever? Granted, not even to get into the fact that most of the people that would be taxed less don't even make enough money to get taxed less. And they're actually in a tax bracket that would get them taxed more. But, that's a completely separate conversation. But is it worth doing all of these terrible things or putting people in power that will do terrible things to marginalized groups just to save $100 on taxes? Is it worth it? That's what you have to ask yourself, because saying, hey, but because I don't hate gay people, I can vote for the asshole that's going to take away all their rights. No, you can't make that make sense.
Not at all. But listen, we want to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Keep it civil, man. Let's have a decent discussion, and make sure you are subscribing to the channel as well. Blerds in the Hood every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. All full episodes exclusively available on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/BLERDS, the letter NTHEHOOD. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.